And early on, and when people get in a job and if they got to be there at 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, if you're showing up at 9 o'clock and you're tucking in your shirt and you're looking disheveled and you're waking up and you're doing this, go home.
Yeah.
Don't show up.
Start over.
Just don't even do that anymore. Like, get your ass up. You need to be at work and be bright-eyed.
Yeah.
And ready to go right from
the
get-go.
Okay, we're back. Another episode of Expandable. If you missed our last episode, go back and watch that. It was a pretty good planning framework for small businesses. We're going to kind of dive maybe a little more deeply into individual daily, weekly habits that have brought success.
Okay. Yeah, I've got a ton of those.
Yeah. And I've seen that with you too over the last decade or so. Like, constantly always working in that area, which has brought success.
For sure.
The more you are intentional about that, the more
and you'll notice it takes years for a lot of the things to, show fruitfulness, but they're necessary. I think the first one, and I know I tell my son and my daughter knows because see it today, like in early on, and when people get in a job and if they got to be there at 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, if you're showing up at 9 o'clock and you're tucking in your shirt and you're looking disheveled and you're waking up and you're doing this, go home.
Yeah.
Don't show up.
Start over.
Just don't even do that anymore. Like, get your ass up. If it takes you several hours to wake up, that's one thing. Like, early on, if you've got to hit that bell to get in, to get to work, and listen, people have circumstances where they can't sleep. I'm not take that out of the equation, that kind of stuff. But, you need to be at work and be bright-eyed.
Yeah.
And ready to go right from
the
get-go. Be there early.
Yeah.
You don't have to be an ass kisser or any of that, but show up with intent from then on. Have that consistency. Don't ever fail. Don't bring your personal stuff into work.
For sure.
Everybody has aspects and people, but there is a time and place.
Yeah. You got to know where the line is to draw. To keep things
but,
professional.
Thinking back and earlier on, when you get out, you shouldn't have to rush to get to, but listen, things happen and you have children and not every day is perfect, but in general, you need to plan for that. Like, you're an adult, you need to have action and go forward.
Yes.
As of most recently, and I think what has helped in the last decade is, I don't let other people manage my time. I don't, they want a meeting or this. No, every day I have blocked off time that is not, going to be managed because things do come up during the day and I need to sit there and acknowledge my position does not have any bit of like, rule book or what to do. I don't have directions.
So therefore
I have to have that time. And I didn't do that in the past. And you've got to have that time now to dictate. And you may be catching up on things from the morning or whatever, but don't block that. You always need to have that several times in the day. When people say, I'm too busy. Nobody, that's a joke. People, when they say that in the 80s, like, too busy, well, then you're not efficient is what it is.
Yeah, right. No, you're 100% right. I think if more people thought that way, which sometimes it takes a little while to get there, but if you thought that way where my time is my own, and I need to put the highest priority first. In your position, like a lot of people listening, you will 100% have fires every day. You have somebody pulling at you every day. That a lot of times is priority. They need an answer, and
then a lot of times it would, people, COVID put a stop to it, but it would come back. People want to take you out to lunch.
Yeah. Or they just stop in your office and chat for like 30 minutes.
Yes. And your community and you're open, which obviously you set aside time for that too. But in general, that's also when you do have that break or that lunchtime, use that, strategically.
Yeah.
So the way I use mine is that's now my time when I exercise.
Yeah.
So that was a change for me. Not everybody has the ability to do that during the work. Or, well, I live a mile from the office. So
it's a huge shift mentally. Because whenever you take control of your time and you decide that your health is important, the most important, and you put it on a time in your calendar, whatever the time that is, after you do it for a little while, you're like, okay, my world didn't blow up.
Well,
and my health came first.
And there was time when you was, more of an hourly mindset. You have an hour and it doesn't take an hour to eat your lunch.
Right.
And you're just sitting there most of the time too. And then you're exhausted, you're tired. And, for me, it was like, okay, occupy that time. And that was the best benefit. And especially during your stages of life, I loved taking my kids to school when I had the availability. And especially when they were early on in grade school, when, like I said, I only worked a mile from home.
Yeah.
And the school's in between there.
Yeah.
8:00. Yeah. I want to take them to school. So
yeah, right.
We're going to work. And that was how, strategic work. Okay. I'm going to work lunches. So
yeah, you mentioned before about, if you can't come in ready to work, then you need to get up earlier. And that just a simple comment. I think that for me, it took me a long time because I don't really have anybody teaching me, this is how you need to operate your life. Like I just had to figure it out on my own. And which I think a lot of people have, right? But once it clicked, I was like, I'm not a morning person. And I would end up being that person where I'm getting up just in time to get ready. And then I go to the thing. Once I realized like, all I gotta do is like, just get up an hour earlier. And I didn't really want to, because I'm not a morning person. But when I started forcing myself to do that, I was so much more ready for the day, no matter what I did in that hour. And that was the key for me, because I'm like kind of an overthinker. I'm like, well, I'm going to get up an extra hour. I could be sleeping that time. But what if I just got up and like watched a movie? Or what if I got up and like, read a book or
anything during that time?
Doesn't matter. Like I don't have to be productive. And eventually it turned into, a quiet time that I could read and, get ready for the day mentally and just like get ready to like kick the day off.
Yeah.
So now when I get up from that spot and I go to, get showered and get ready for the day, I'm doing just that. Now I'm starting to think about work and things are starting to flow. Whereas before it was like, get out of bed, you're going straight to the shower and like,
and you forgot everything. You didn't plan your day.
Sort of like,
nothing.
I think that's a huge change for people when they do it, but it's such a simple thing to do. Yeah. You would never, I think some people are naturally morning people, so they get it. But so what has happened with me in my career is the more responsibility I've gotten over the years, the earlier and earlier I've had to get up, and I've not liked it still, my old nature, but I've done it anyways and enjoyed it. Weirdly.
Well, it's one of those things. It is what it is. Like there's, you pick your battles, and that's not one. I mean, you have to go to bed earlier if you want the rest of your life to work out.
Exactly. And so what I've done is some days are really, really, really packed, and some days aren't as packed. But for those really packed days, those are the days I typically end up getting up really, really early because I'm like, I need to give myself time to start the day before this whole day starts. And yes, it makes my day longer, but it makes my day better.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, anything. So, I mean, the times that, you got to wake up earlier or, when you're flying out somebody earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though, yes, I could technically wake up at my normal time and get there. Nope. Yeah. I'm still going to get an hour earlier.
That's right. I had that recently going to the West Coast because you got to wake up early in order to get to the airport, fly. And then when you get there, it's 3 hours difference, and you check in and like, you want to stay up because it's not dark out, but like that's the part that's really difficult. And so what I try to do is just look at the clock and say, the clock is my, master at this point, and I'm going to go to bed at a certain time so that I stay on East Coast time, which means I'm getting up at butt cracking the next day for that time. But if I can just stay with that, when I get home, that impact is not as hard.
And then I find, the days that I have consistency, then if I have a day or two that is not, I'm back into it immediately.
Yes.
And
it's a muscle.
Have less, I'm not just exhausted all over the place. So
yeah, I think that's a huge thing. Personal routine is kind of what we're talking about is huge. Having one, if you're chaotic and you just look at your life and you're like, I'm serving these people, this part of my business and these people in my life, and like I'm doing all this stuff. Having a routine is good, but then the more intentional you get with that routine, I think that the better the outcome, because you're controlling. Like you started with, I'm going to control my calendar because what's best for the outcome. right? It's not like I'm going to control my calendar so I'm going to have the most time off and like enjoy myself. And that's going to have a result too. If you took it that way, then you're going to end up with a bad negative result,
very quickly.
But if you control that and your time is productive and utilize, prioritize, then it's going to work out well. I think another thing to do is meeting with your sales team or even your marketing team if you get leads through marketing once a week to monitor their weekly progress. If you have done this in the past, I've seen a lot of small business owners, they do this sort of intermittently. They know they have to do it, but then they sort of push it off to the team.
I've become guilty of that too, because I feel like, okay, they're doing it. Mm-hmm. They don't need to hear from me weekly if they keep doing it. But then it falls off and back and forth. So if you stay consistent on it, then you never have to,
I'll say,
worry. But I fall off on that.
It's the same thing as monitoring cash flow. These are the same things, so we can talk about them together. It's all about saying, what is the outcome? What outcomes am I looking for from this person, this department, this campaign, these things that we're doing? All right, what is the outcome I'm looking for? That's how you're going to be managing this person and what they're doing. So you don't have to be as hands-on management, but when the frequency of a week to week comes back, you can just, pop up, here we are. Oh yeah, here's why we're doing it. And here's the outcome we're looking for. Give me your update. Yeah. Right. And so that makes it so much easier and cleaner and off your mind mostly for the week in between. We talked about this a little bit on the last episode, but if you really need a new system, EOS is something, the book traction is a good place to start. But, also you can just start by asking the right questions. Ask questions more frequently. Yeah. And that's going to help you to be more engaged in your business and monitor your business more closely. So,
what else you got?
I think that, it's sort of like how it goes with these type of things. What's a daily or weekly habit that has brought us success? Well, we've talked specifically about some things, but it's more about just having them. Because if you start having them, whatever they are, there's probably a lot of things you're doing right now that you don't even know you're doing them, but they're bringing success.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Like, you might have to look at a lot of paperwork or documents or contracts or whatever it may be, and you might have a way that you do it that is productive and efficient. Or, now with AI, you might have figured out that
if we look through the habits of what you do when you're running a company daily, it should be daily. You're always looking at your cash position. You're looking at your receivables. You're looking outstanding, whether you're past dues, and some that with us, that is very important. Yep. People late on payments.
Yep.
So every day it's looking at those for us. Litany of, it used to be in our banking world, it would get printed out. When I started banking, it'd print out every morning on green bar paper.
Yeah.
And so you go through the reports.
It's like,
but in general, that's every day as you look at those reports.
Yeah.
That seeing consistency, seeing your flow immediately pops out anomalies when they happen.
Yes. And those small changes you make more frequently add up to a bigger sum at the end of the year. Versus being flat or negative or just a small increase and kind of wondering why are we still where we always were.
Yeah. And the consistency of habits you wouldn't believe the monthly and quarterly reporting that we do.
Oh,
it is just, so it's like, no, there's no point in fighting it.
Yeah.
You already have to do it. And typically a lot of times you have to do it just because somebody before you did it completely horrible within the industry. Sure. Or, so there's a reason now why there's, a report for that.
Yeah.
But those all layer inconsistencies. And so I don't think too many companies that are in a regulated industry have a problem with.
No, they have a built-in
if they don't, know that they got to do the daily work, then, they're in the wrong industry.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. All right. On to the next one.